Sergeant Sunil right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey.
Down in Miami at Cardone headquarters.
I'm so happy to be here with the Grant Cardone, 10Xer. I'm telling you, you're one of my top heroes, and I'm so excited.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be with you, my friend.
Thank you very much for being
with
with
us. And I can't wait to come to Toronto. And what's the date on that?
It's March 21st, 2020.
Dude, that's my birthday.
What?
That's my birthday.
What?
Okay, that tells you everything there is to know about me. So that's my whole work ethic right there.
Thank you.
Birthday, no birthday. You know, when I was coming up as a speaker, when I was 30 years old, every Thanksgiving, I would go to Canada.
Wow.
Because you guys don't do Thanksgiving that week.
That's right.
I couldn't make money down here. Everybody shut down, and I'm like, I need to make money. Because my whole goal was every speaking fee, if I was paid whatever the number was, I would take a third of the money of everything that I earned. The top third would come off, and I knew I was buying real estate with that.
All right.
I was 30 years old, and I was already planning. I hadn't bought any real estate. I wouldn't do my first deal for like 3 years.
Right.
But every time, if I got a speaking gig to pay me $10,000, $3,000 of that, I knew would buy me $10,000 worth of real estate.
Right.
So to me, it was like, okay, if I can earn 10, I'll pull 3 off, and it becomes 10 again with the leverage.
Right. Wow.
I'm like, I'm going to get rich one day. I had no idea I would be interviewed by you today,
awesome.
A few years later. So.
Oh, wow, this is so amazing. Thank you. We love you in Canada, as you know.
Thank you.
You know, and they are looking for it. We're actually doing this the first time. A place called Roy Thomson Hall. It's like a very prestigious
I know it.
estate. You know it?
Yeah,
okay, good. So we're going to have you there. We partner up with top brands.
You're across from the Ritz, right?
That's right.
Okay.
That's
Did you
right.
give me a room there?
I'm going to get you a room there.
Give me a big suite.
You got it.
Okay.
You got it.
Okay.
And of course, some of our Diamond attendees we're including the rooms at the Ritz-Carlton for them as well.
Okay.
So it's going to be awesome. Some of the people are going
I've never met bad people at a Ritz hotel.
Not even bad guests.
No, I mean, like even if you meet a bad guest at a Ritz, it's still better than meeting a good guest at a Holiday Inn. I'm just saying.
I love it. I love the place. And it was actually my son who said, you know, Roy Thomson Hall is there. You cross the road. Literally, you cross the road. Ritz-Carlton's right there.
Yeah.
So we're actually planned it very, very well. And we're March 21st, 2020. I mean, it's the day for people to be. This is the only place to be.
Yeah.
For you know, if they are thinking of making lots of money in real estate and a lot of kind of stuff. So.
Can I just say something? Because it reminds me, because you're Greek, right? Yeah. So Aristotle Onassis, the great Greek shipping magnate. Yeah. I read this when I was 31, 32 years old. He said, somebody asked him in an interview where he drinks his coffee, and he's like, in his Greek way, in the most expensive coffee shop he could find. Wherever he was in the world, he would go to the most, this is before Starbucks.
Yes.
And he says, I will always go to the most expensive coffee place. And they're like, well, why would you do that? And he's like, because the most expensive coffee places always have the best ideas. Because the people there are all thinking how to get to another place.
That's awesome.
You know, and that really changed my thinking about where to stay, what events to go to. It changed, because I used to be only focused on saving money. And it was those little things, getting around people like yourself, you know, that have clubs of people that are attracting super successful people.
Thank you.
Sitting at the front of the rooms.
Yes.
Like paying the extra money to buy your way into a club.
Yes. So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Why is it, there are people watching right now, our tickets start at $50 to $15,000.
Yeah.
So why should, first of all, they should come, right?
You should buy a ticket no matter what you can afford right now.
Yes.
And you're like, here's 2 things that I see going on for people, and it has gone on for me. Number 1, people wait until the end to do what they were going to do anyway.
Yes.
So here we are, whatever month we're in right now. You should make a decision to do something now, not wait until later.
Yes.
Right? You're going to do it anyway.
Yes.
So why would you do something now that you don't get for months, though? Because you get the commitment.
Yes.
You get the velocity and momentum of a commitment, of a decision. And so there's programs and workshops that I've gone to. This has never, ever failed me. If I'm going to go to something next year, I'm going to buy it as soon as I can, because I actually am convinced that I start tapping into the future intelligence of whatever is there waiting for me. Okay, I'm telling you, every time I make a commitment to the future, my future gets better.
That's interesting.
And I see people wait till the end. I'm like, why'd you wait, man? Why'd you wait till the end when you were going to go anyway? So also, the people that can only afford $50, buy the $50.
Yes.
Buy whatever seat you can. Commit to whatever you can right now. Make that commitment to the future now, and then upgrade as you go along. Just call up and say, hey, can I upgrade my seat? Because you're obviously going to take care of those people that acted first.
Absolutely. And the reason actually with the level that we are right now, they actually get to pick their seats now.
Yeah.
As opposed to, so if you're going to buy a $10,000 ticket, do you want to sit in the front row of that or the third row of that? Or do you want, if you're buying a $50 ticket, do you want to be in the front row of the $50 ticket or you need the back?
Yeah.
So one of the benefits right now for this event is they can actually pick the seats that they want right now, which is great, in addition to what you just said, which is the commitment part. What do you say to people who say, well, I don't have the money? Let's talk about that, because
you don't, there's two things. In addition to not having the money, you don't have the time.
Yes.
I mean, this is what you tell yourself every day. I don't have the time and I don't have the money. And the reason you don't have time and money is because you don't invest time and money.
So how important is it?
I know some of the busiest people on planet Earth. And I'm like, how do they have time? And why do they also have more money than I have? Why do they appear to have more time and more money? Because they invest time and money.
Right.
So that's the beauty of real estate, and what you're going to learn there is look, the richest. Now, I don't mean financially rich. I'm talking about freedom rich.
Yes.
You know,
Tell us the difference.
Well, money comes in a lot of different ways. I've made a tremendous amount of money, but that's not what I'm most proud of. I'm most proud of my ability to do what I want, go where I want, say what I want, leave or stay as long as I want, and get rid of the people in my life. I mean, nobody ever talks about this being on their financial statement, but the ability to say, I don't want to do business with you anymore. Okay? I was in a deal, and the deal, it was a good deal. It was going to be a great piece of real estate. But I had an investor come in that had a bad attitude. And he was extremely wealthy, way more wealthy than me. He gave me a check for $20 million.
Okay.
This is true financial freedom right here.
Right. And
he gave me a check for $20 million, started acting like a wanker. I warned him once, and the next time I gave him his money back. Here's your $20 million back. Let's just me and you stay friends. Let's don't be partners.
Yes.
This is going to be better as a friendship than a partnership.
Yes.
And that is ultimate financial freedom, to be able to say, I don't need your money.
Yes.
And so I think a lot of people are just trying to get enough money to pay bills rather than I want enough money to do what I want with who I want and say no to those I don't want.
Very good. And there's a lot of times you talk about money, right? I mean, we grew up with some issues with money, for example. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that. I mean, I heard you many times, because when I'm on big stages and I'm talking about money, sometimes people get a little different about what they've been taught about money and how important. Tell us how important the money is, if it is important.
Like nobody's telling you it's important. What everybody's telling you is it's not important. Like listen to the programming going on.
Yes.
Money's not important. It's not the most important thing. Don't work for money. Everybody that's telling you that either doesn't have any, or they have so much that they're now like, oh, it's not important. Bill Gates says it's not important. Steve Jobs says it's not important. But you need to look at where they said that in their cycle. Because when Bill Gates was 20 years old, money was important.
Yes.
When he was 60 years old, so after the first million, nothing changes anything, right? Well, he's a billionaire.
Yes.
80 billion of them. He's stacked up 80 billion. That's like, money's not important to him anymore. But that's not what he was saying when he was 20, and that's not what Steve Jobs was saying when he was 20. And anybody that's telling you money's not important is either made so much it's not important, or they've never made any and quit on it. And that is the bulk. The majority of people are telling you money's not important, and it won't make you happy, and it can't change your life, and you should just be happy, satisfied with whatever you don't have, when in truth is they quit. They quit on the very thing they're giving advice on.
Your 10X, amazing, genius idea. I mean, it's so simple, but it's genius. How did that come up? Tell me a little bit about that.
I was trying to solve a problem. All my books are written to solve a problem that I'm having, and so the 10X rule, I didn't know the name of the book.
Okay.
I think the book originally started as the biggest problem of my life, which was I couldn't get off the track. I couldn't get out of the hamster track.
Yes.
I was just like on the wheel.
Yes.
And I couldn't, no matter how hard I worked, like the 4-hour work week, when I saw that book, I'm like, yeah, I want to work 4 hours a week. I'm like, that's impossible. You just can't work 4 hours and make money. But the concept was, how can I do less and have more?
Yes.
Well, I told you before we started today, I said, you told me you were from an Indian background. I said, yeah, we're all Indian. Look, if you're Indian descent, you understand hard work.
Yes.
Work's not your issue now.
Yes.
Now the issue is, how do I get on something that actually pays me enough?
Yes.
So that the work that I'm doing pays me 10 times, not one time.
I love it.
And so what had happened was I was 50. You only know me because my life changed when I was 50. Let's see, I'm 61. So
You're 61 right now?
yeah, I'm about 52, 53 years old. That's when everything changed for me.
About a decade ago.
Yeah, about that 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
9 years ago, maybe a little less than that.
Okay.
And so, like that book basically showed me I had been underestimating my potential, and I had also been underestimating the amount of energy it takes,
Right.
the amount of effort it takes.
Right.
And I kept thinking it was about my efforts. I was studying the wrong people, Sunil. I was watching my buddy Ralph that was buying real estate in San Diego. And so he bust out in 2010. I'm like, whoa. I'm watching him, okay? I want to be more like Ralph. Ralph goes broke. I don't want to be like Ralph. And then I switched over. Who do I want to study? And I start studying companies.
Yes.
I start studying guys that have done 140,000 apartments. Everything changed for me. I'm like, I've been studying individuals and I should have been studying companies. I was studying, I would go to a workshop and listen to the guy that was doing the flips. And I'm like, okay, that at some point you can learn about the flips, but all flippers want to do what I'm doing now, which is building out.
Cash flow.
Last week we did $240 million worth of purchases.
High five that.
Okay, so I put those on the board. I hadn't even thought about them. I closed them a week ago. I'm like, okay, good. Dude, those things. Next time I see those deals, they'll be worth $750 million.
Wow.
And so we're buying cash flow properties, big, massive properties. So 7, 8, 9 years ago, I just made a commitment. Hey, I'm gonna go 10 times bigger. And it's sort of solving problems for me.
Yeah.
When this is your problem, when your pen's your problem, or
Yeah.
time or money, $50.
Yes.
$50 is my problem. When you're trying to solve a $50 problem, you will always have a $50 problem.
Okay.
The way to ultimately solve that $50 problem is to give yourself a $50 million problem.
Okay.
Or a $500 million problem. I traded in my old problems, okay, for, you know what? I was flying, like, here's an example. I was 52 years old, and I was flying commercial everywhere.
Wow.
And I was bitching all the time. God dang, TSA lines, golly, they hang me up in Toronto when I fly in. They're late. And my wife's like, why don't you just buy a plane then? And I'm like, what? My wife's like, she's the big thing, right? I said, what? She's like, why don't you buy a plane? I said, that's ridiculous. She said, well, then that's what you're complaining about.
Yes.
And she didn't press on it, but I walked away and I said, yeah, why haven't I bought a plane? Why wasn't I thinking about that as a solution? Instead, I'm bitching about this constant, I got to get to the airport, I got to get to the airport. I got all this energy, man, all this energy and complaining, right, about the airlines and complaining about the seat and complaining about the passenger, complaining about the food. And then all of a sudden I took all that energy and said, I'm going to buy a plane. I'm going to figure out how to buy a plane. 2 years later, I owned a plane.
Wow.
Okay? So
It's a good bird.
yeah, now the problem is the problem's no longer now $50 or they're late. It's what's the jet fuel cost?
Yes.
Right? And then but it expands your thinking. It's like that commitment thing. When you commit to, I can't pay $50. That's a commitment. When you say, hey, I'm going to spend $10,000, I'm going to invest $10,000 and go sit on the front seat, the front rows. And I'm going to have that in March of next year ready. It's going to be pulling me forward the whole time. You could start actually connecting with the people that are buying tickets. Probably call your office and say, hey, I'll give you $10,000 for a seat, but I want to know everybody else that's sitting in VIP.
That's
I want to
right.
be able to send an introductory letter to them.
Absolutely.
Would you do that?
Absolutely.
Dude, I want access to people.
Nice idea.
See, now it's not a one-day event. This is the problem with events. People go for a one-day event, like, I hope something happens to me. I go to events and say, I'm going to make something happen to me, right? I want to know who's going, Who's going to be there? Who am I sitting next to?
We're going to have millionaires and multimillionaires sitting right in the front rows. I
Yeah.
mean, these are people,
Yeah.
like if you're a real estate investor, one of the things that you want is good deals and
Yeah.
access to money.
Yeah.
And those are
Yeah.
two things that, that's how Private Investment Club grew, is like
Yeah.
provide access to these kind of things.
You want access.
You want access.
And this is what the middle class is never taught. Go sit with Bill Gates. Study these guys at the top of the food chain. Where does Goldman Sachs go twice a year? Wyoming, and they go to Davos. If you can get access to that, that's what Aristotle was saying. Hey, go sit with the rich people. Okay, so what? The coffee's another $3. That's not the problem. The problem is not $3. It's $3 trillion, right? So if you're struggling with money right now, you're struggling finding deals, or you're struggling with investors. The problem is you're not around the right people that can invest in your deals.
So how important is it? I mean, I already know the relationships.
It's everything. It's people, man. You want to be with the right people. Why am I flying from Sao Paulo, Brazil to Toronto? Because I want to be with the right people. So when you told me, hey, we're having an event, first question we ask is what price are the tickets?
Yes.
And how many people are going to be there?
Yes.
And when you tell me that, I'm like, you're going to be around. People are going to be spending $12,000 for. I'll be there.
It's a
Sorry,
high end.
it's a filter on this planet.
Thank you.
And unfortunately, the people, 90% of the population, you're taught to buy low and sell high. Get the best deal you can. You have the wrong data. That is not how the super wealthy operate. The super wealthy are like, yeah, I'll pay the extra money. I'll pay too much. Look at the mergers and the IPOs and the transactions going on this planet. Where they're like, no, we're going to overpay for the company and we're going to control the environment. Because money's useless. And unfortunately, people are just, we're misinformed on this, okay? I think yours has got maple syrup on it, right?
It's Canadian.
And so, we're so worried about this that we never get assets. And all I'm doing today, I get this, and all I'm trying to do, one thing I'll be talking about at the conference is, how do you take this, that we know 10 years from now will be worth less than it is today?
Yes.
Pick pounds, euros, Canadian dollar.
Yeah.
I don't care. Pick them all. Pesos. They're all going to be worth less 10 years, 15 years, 20 years from now. If you think they're going to be worth more, then just take it, put it right here, and come back and see it 10 years from now. Yeah. It will be worth less, or it'll be gone, or it'll be destroyed, or something. Might not even exist.
That's right.
Okay. But if I buy, I don't know if you can show them any of that property we buy behind us, Johnny. Probably can't. Yeah, split it in. I buy 38 acres. Cost me $90 million. It pays me, I earn 5 or 6 or 7% the first year. Next year it'll be 7 or 8. Year after that, it'll be 8 or 9. Then it'll blow up to 10 or 11. 10 years from now, will it still be there? I mean, if it's not there, then North Korea went nuts. And none of us are there, so it doesn't matter, right? So I'm trading a piece of garbage, piece of paper.
That's all it is.
It's completely made up. I have zero attachment to it, none. But what I do have an attachment to is the things that we'll buy. So I trade garbage for assets. And it's crazy. It's crazy this gimmick even exists on this planet. Like, even the real estate investors in your room, like, you guys are going to wake up. I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, when you leave, you're going to be a real estate investor at a completely different level when you leave. Because you're going to be like, whoa, what were we thinking? You have money in the bank, and you should be buying real estate in Toronto or Vancouver or Calgary, wherever you should be buying the real estate today.
And in the United States.
And
lots of people are buying, a lot of Canadians are buying in the United States because opportunities are different here.
And you have the scale here.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Every deal that I'm on today, I see a Canadian trying to buy.
It's good.
But I always outbid you guys.
But that's okay. But we can invest with you.
You could.
Right? We can definitely invest.
Once when you play the game Monopoly, once somebody grabs Park Place, okay, you're playing with your sister, your family, and somebody gets Park Place, what would you pay to have that right now?
Exactly.
More, right?
That's right.
I'll give you all my money right now.
Yeah, exactly.
But that means the value went up just because the ownership changed. And so one of the things I'll be sharing there is like how to take this asset, this whatever this is actually. This is not even an asset.
Cash.
It's a liability,
Yeah.
really. This is a liability. This is a debt obligation. And exchange it for something that is real, that actually makes babies, has little baby. What do you call your dollar?
Dollar. Canadian dollars.
Okay, yeah.
But, the loonie is
The loonie.
that's a dollar.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
loonie. So there's a loonie and a
Yeah,
toonie.
yeah, exactly. Well, that says it all right there, the loonie and the toonie. And people make fun of Bitcoin. Look, all this stuff should be made fun of.
Yeah.
Okay, and we have such an attachment to it. Like even the people that don't love money, they're like, I don't, the love of money and the root of all evil and all that stuff. Like you guys love your money. Look, you're saving it.
Yes.
You save it, you love it. Why are you trying to save it? I'm saving for the
rainy
disaster
day.
that happens. What if that disaster never happens? And you just end up old. I saw a statistic the other day. 30% of people over 55 years old in America have zero money. At 55, zero money set up for savings.
It's not different in Canada. It's
Yeah.
pretty close to that.
And I actually don't want any money in savings. What I want is cash flow from properties that can take care of me through my disabilities.
So it's an asset. You're trying to buy an
I
asset.
want to buy assets that produce cash flow. They have to produce cash flow or I won't touch them. So if you called me up with a deal and said, I have a construction deal. I'm like, you finish the construction,
yeah,
you fill it up, I'll pay you a premium to do all that work.
that's awesome.
Okay. So if you wanted 80 million for it, I'd rather pay the builder 100. Let him make his 20 million, but I want cash flow the next month.
Do you buy in Canada as well?
I would.
Oh, good.
I would. I'm a complete coward when it comes to investing.
Oh.
But we have 1.2 billion dollars worth of real estate
That's
in America.
awesome.
So, but I'm a coward. I only buy something
Yes.
that will pay me next month,
Okay, so cash flow.
and that's what Ralph didn't do. See, Ralph was a speculator, and I'm not.
So I see you got caps and hats and all
Yeah,
that. They
yeah,
all
yeah.
say cash flow.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
right.
obviously,
they're
yeah.
around here, Johnny. Where are they?
Yeah.
Cash flow, man. Cash flow is king.
I like-
Cash is not king. Okay?
Cash flow is king, right?
Cash is not king. That's just a big lie everybody was
Yes.
told. The banks are the ones that came up with that motto.
Yes.
Cash is king. Keep your cash. Wall Street, they're the smartest people in the world. Let's convince people to keep their cash liquid. Stay liquid. Wall Street is the only group, that's fine, Johnny. Wall Street is who benefits from the consumer being liquid.
Right.
Because if you're liquid, the stockbroker can get your money.
Yes.
Okay, Goldman Sachs hates the way I invest. Because when you take, like those deals I did last week, I put 80 million down of my own money.
Yes.
I didn't raise that money.
Okay.
I wrote a check.
Right.
When that $80 million goes away, Goldman Sachs will never get a chance to see that money, and they know that.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying? They can never, ever sit down with me and convince me, hey, Grant, why don't you put that 80 million in mutual funds or ETFs? They're never going to get the money because they know it's an illiquid event. I want to be illiquid.
Now, this is a very interesting point because most regular people, and
Yeah.
I do that at the Private Investment
yeah.
Club, most regular people invest in U.S. it's called 401k,
Yeah, yeah.
and in Canada it's called RRSPs. And basically it's mutual funds,
ETS.
ETS,
Yeah, yeah.
stocks,
Yeah. REITs.
REITs, and basically you give
Liquidity.
your money to somebody.
Because
so you
and,
talk
and
about
they even sell you that. Oh, you're liquid. You can get your money back the next day. Dude, if it's a good deal, I don't want my money back the next day. Trust me, this is not what I want. Again, we go back to why would you want this back? Who convinced us this was even valuable? So what you want is if the casino tells you, offers you insurance, okay, or a drink, or free dinner, or if the casino offers you a hotel room, it's probably not good for you. My mama used to tell me this. If we're in Vegas at the Bellagio and they offer you to surrender, they're not offering you surrender because it's good for you. So, Johnny, that's the loudest marker in the world right there, Johnny. Yeah. No, we're good. We're good, Johnny. They're good. They'll wait for us. So if the point of that is when the banks or when Wall Street says, hey, your investment is liquid, you can get your money back if you need it tomorrow, that's not good for you. It's good for them, or they wouldn't offer it to you. Number two, the other thing they tell you, particularly on their funds are like, our funds are short term. 3 years from now, 5 years from now, you can get out. Why are they offering you a short term investment? Other than that sounding good to you, the truth is that pays the manager their fee. That's when they can bang their fee out the back door. And I'm not opposed to that. A manager should make fees, right?
Sure.
People should make fees, but like our funds are 10 years with the discretion to go another 10. And discretion to never, ever sell again.
Right.
Biggest mistake I've made in real estate, I'll bet you the biggest mistake you made too was selling any of that stuff you bought.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Should have sold none of it.
I sold almost all of it. And now we're coming back again, doing it again. So that's awesome. Surrounding yourself with like-minded people, you mentioned that, just touch a bit. Why is that so important?
I actually, Warren Buffett says, look, you want to be around people that think bigger than you do and have better habits than you do. You want to be around people that not richer than you. You want to be around good, ethical people that don't take shortcuts. You don't want to be around Ralph. Ralph is going to go bankrupt. And Ralph is making bad decisions. And Ralph, that guy Ralph that I'm talking about, he knows who he is. He might be listening to this. Okay?
So, Ralph was made up name. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Is a real Ralph?
Guy. A real guy that takes shortcuts, that sues people, that doesn't do the right thing, that overextends himself in situations. Look, the real estate play it's a long play. It's not a quick thing.
Right.
So if you need money, just go out the street corner and beg somebody for money. Give me money, give me money. It's easy to get money. Real estate, you're creating wealth. And you don't create wealth quick. I've never wanted to get rich quick. I don't know whether my dad influenced me with that or the way I was brought up. I've never wanted to get rich quick, but I have wanted to get rich for sure.
Yes.
And the way I invest in real estate, it is get rich for sure. It's not get rich quick, it's not this week, it's not this month, but it's for sure. It's just when it's gonna happen. So that's why the Google stocks, the Alphabets, the Netflix, and the Uber investment IPOs. I don't do any of that stuff and I probably missed a bunch of great opportunities.
Right.
But I am extremely focused. There's only so many things I can be good at. And so what I invest in is myself.
Tell me about that. Tell me about how you should invest in yourself. Talk about
education, I find out Goldman Sachs is having an event here in town for a bunch of billionaires. I'm like, okay, how much are the tickets? Well, they're $20,000. All right, I can give you 20. Here. There's 20 of those. There's nothing anyway. I want the relationships. I want to sit next. I want to rub knees with people that
hang on.
That have better habits, better experiences, better connections. It's such an easy thing to do, man. You can exchange money for access. So number one, invest in yourself. That should be the first investment. The first investment should not be real estate. It should be in yourself.
Oh, that's interesting. I like that.
Why would I invest in real estate? The most valuable piece of real estate you have is you.
Yes, right.
Right? If you're not confident, and there was a time when I wasn't confident, I missed deals.
Yes.
I wasn't confident with me. I had the data. I had all the information. I had everybody telling me, go, go, go. I had the loan. I had the money. I had everything. I didn't have confidence in me to know I was right. Cost me hundreds of millions of dollars. So first, number two, I want to invest in whatever my business is right now, right?
Yes.
Like if you have a company, you got a plumbing company, and you're trying to move into real estate, you should keep investing in your plumbing company.
Yes. Until
there's surplus money. Okay, and you don't have any more money. You can't reinvesting that money now is dude, this is just slop now. I'm successful, I'm making money. That money should then fall into the third bucket, which is real estate.
I get a lot of people, not a lot, some people come to me and say, Sunil, you just talk about sales. You just talk about revenue generation.
Yeah.
How important is that for a business?
It's everything because again, every time I get $1,000, every time I bring in $1,000, if I can save 300 of it, and I live extremely, I don't have fancy belts and stuff. I'm starting to have a few fancy things now because I got this passive income.
Yes.
From 30 years.
Yes.
But if I can take this $300 left over from the 1,000, and then say, okay, that is going to buy $1,000 worth of real estate, then I just tripled my money.
That's right.
Right. So
leverage.
$10,000. I got $10,000. I squeezed 3 out of it. I saved 3. I live on 70%. Pay the taxes over there where you guys are at. It's just insane. Okay. So whatever. You got 20% left over, right? So I got 20% left over. I take that 20%. Let's say it's $2,000. I'm like, I'm gonna go about $6,000. But just start moving that up, $100,000 or $1 million. $1 million in cash today in America buys $3 million worth of real estate. You're talking pure magic. It's the most legal scam. Legitimate scam on the planet. I could take $1 million and turn it into $3 million worth of real estate that pays me next month. Like, to me, it's the best deal on the planet.
It's not very complicated too when you think about it. I mean, you can understand the concept. You buy a property.
Yeah, when they start talking about automation,
Yes.
Elon Musk starts talking about going to Mars. I don't even know what we're going for.
Yeah.
These guys start talking about like some of the stuff they're talking about. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about anymore. When you talk about 2103 2nd Avenue,
Yes.
it's across the street from, and 17 people live there, and we have leases for the next. Oh, I understand all that. It's so simple. What are the leases? $12.50. Okay, good. $12.50 times 17. Is the location good? It's a great location. Starbucks is moving in a block away. Oh, wow. What could we move the rents to? Well, the rents over here are going to be 20, simple. In fact, real estate, I don't know if it's made the most millionaires, but I know that it's made the most millionaires of common, everyday people.
Yes, well, it's been said, I think 80% of the people on the planet, not only this country, but on the planet, self-made millionaires and multimillionaires come from real estate.
I don't know.
Part-time, full-time, but we don't know.
I don't know if that's true or not, but I do know that most of the real estate people I've met, whether it was Fred Trump, I didn't meet him, but these guys, the guy Donald Bren in California, I mean, he's one of the richest.
I did it. I mean, I know you did it.
Yeah, like these are not, Donald Bren is not the smartest guy in the world. Fred Trump was. And neither one of those guys were connected. Sam Zell. Yes. Like Sam's an everyday guy. Blue collar, kind of grinder. Well, hard worker, knows about revenue, knows about customers, knows about taking care of people. He's not a scientist, right? And that's my point. Like, you don't have to go to college to be a real estate investor.
I didn't, by the way.
Well, it's obvious.
Thank you.
But you see, Indian people are all intelligent. As soon as you meet them, you're like, oh, you must be an accountant. Indian people have this intelligence, don't you think?
Engineers, accountants. That's when I was growing up, my parents told me that go study hard, get good grades. My dad used to, the minute that I used to be introduced to my uncles and other people, the first thing he says, this is Sunil, my son, and he stinks at school. He doesn't know what he's doing, blah, blah, blah. I was really bad in school.
Oh, wow, I would have never guessed that. I thought you were like super grades.
No, man, I was really bad. In fact, to the point where it was quite depressing because my dad's like, become a doctor. I'm like, Dad, I don't, Okay, if you can't be a doctor, become an engineer. So, well, I don't really like that. Okay, if you can't be an engineer, become an accountant. Well, I hate accounting. And then he goes, okay, then, losers become businessmen.
Yeah,
like,
wow.
What?
Wow.
Then I go.
Tell your dad that I have doctors, accountants, and CPAs that both rent from me and invest with me.
Yeah, he knows today now. He's okay. Well, right now he's okay. So when I left, when I was, I told you about my story about being a police detective and all that kind of stuff. So I was a police officer, 15 years. My wife comes to me and says, look, this is not working out. So I basically said, I got to decide between my business and I got to decide between my family, what do I want to do? Yeah. So I go into real estate. That's the only thing I didn't know about. And the first year I buy and sell 77 properties. Yeah. That's how I made I made $980,000 that year, almost $1 million.
Wow.
Doing it.
Dude, you would be working 50 years to make that on the police force. Right?
I would never be able to
He bought more apartments. Was it apartments or single family?
Single family, detached home, condos, it didn't matter.
He bought more single family in 1 year than he made arrest. That's more money in that too. Yeah, look at the energy. All he did was transfer energy from being a policeman to finding real estate. Well, some of the same skills too, detective, had to find the property, got to know how to talk to people.
Due diligence, building a report, making sure somebody's telling you the truth or not, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. It worked out really well that way. And then I opened up.
You mean to know when people aren't telling you the truth?
Yeah. Well, I remember I remember coming to the United States, and there was this builder who was building all these condos and houses and all that stuff. I said, well, I'm coming over. Yeah. I'm gonna for due diligence. Can you have everybody that's in your team come and see me? And I never had this. They had a whole boardroom. And in the boardroom, they had the developer, they had the management company, they had all these people sitting around. Yeah. And I'm asking questions. And the guy goes, what are you, a cop? Yeah. I said, that funny thing you say that.
Funny thing you say that.
To do that kind of stuff.
I look forward. I cannot wait to come there.
I have a question. You mentioned the word loser, and you mentioned the location on 17 apartment units across the street. Yeah. There was a situation I saw a video of you when you were on the Marina Bay Sands Hotel on the rooftop in Singapore.
That's right.
And you were putting the L on your forehead. Location, location, location.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was the 15th of the month. You know what day it is today, guys? It's the 15th of the month. It's dividend. My investors are getting dividends. Tell us a little bit about the location and dividends.
So Cardone Capital, we don't have mic'd up, so it won't matter.
Oh, maybe just to have a video.
Yeah. We want to see what a Greek guy looks like.
Yes.
Okay. Do you guys remember when the Greek controlled planet Earth? Oh my God! Talk about a real estate play.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
This is my new buddy right here.
Yes.
Okay? So real estate, like the Greek, they were little dude, 16 years old, man, Alexander.
Yes.
Just running around the planet, grabbing as much real estate. Genghis Khan, he was a real estate guy.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
The English, when the English were in control, when they took all of India, they still have it, right?
Real estate.
It was a real estate place,
real estate.
Right?
Sounds good, man. That's awesome. Thank you very much. Let me just say something like this.
So, the L. So the L is, look, you buy the best location. In real estate, it is not about buy low, sell high. And the Canadians need to get this right now because you've missed so many great deals in Vancouver and Toronto. Oh my God, stuff's so expensive. Guess what? It's going to be more expensive the next time you look at it because the locations are sick. We're not talking about blocks now. We're talking about cities that are becoming location hubs. New York City. There's going to be problems in New York here. That's a great opportunity right now, okay? And the losers are going to they're going to bail out of that place, but they got rent control going in there. They got government problems going in. But you got to know where you're floating, even if you're an investor in Toronto, Vancouver, Calgary, New York, wherever, and you're coming to this event, right? You got a good location.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
The winners are going to that location.
Absolutely.
And when you pay extra to get a good location, a great location, somebody will pay you to win a great location later.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And so look, we're gonna. What are you going to have me do when I'm in Toronto?
Well, I'm going to.
Are we going to teach? Are we going to educate? Or are we just going to tell stories?
No, we're going to teach. We're going to talk about sales. We're going to talk about cash flow. We're going to talk about where the real estate is going because that's important. A lot of people want to know. Should I invest right now? I mean, you just mentioned, people saying it's very expensive. Should they invest right now in cash flowing property?
Yes.
In 2020, should they do it? And if so, what should they do? How they set
So
up?
one of the things I'll be sharing with you there. What's the name of the place?
Roy Thompson Hall.
Roy Thompson Hall. Okay. Well, you don't need to know where you're going yet. You just need to grab your seat at the.
That's right.
Below. Okay. $50 to how much?
$50 to $15,000.
$15,000. I would strongly advise you invest in the $15,000. Go sit with the players.
Yes.
But if you can't do that, okay, buy a $50 ticket and upgrade on your way. Make a commitment to being there. Make a commitment to say, because guess what, man? If you can't do 15 grand. You're not going to buy any real estate in Canada.
That's right.
If this is your problem is this. I need 5,000 units that cash flow, or 1,000 units, okay? Start thinking like that. Get around people and say, you can do it. You come to me and say, I want to buy 5,000 seats, 5,000 units. I'm not going to tell you can. I'm going to be like, yeah, you should. And this is how you do it. So one thing we'll be talking about is how to do that.
Awesome.
Second thing is why you should do it and why you should do it as fast as possible, okay? We're going to need 0% interest rates worldwide. There will be no place on the planet. They're going to take this and they're going to charge you to keep it. Okay, this is what's happening everywhere in America. It's happening in Europe. It's happening in England. It's happening in Germany. It's happening in Poland. It's happening in Russia. Where you keep this, they will charge you to keep it in the bank. You have to get this into an asset that produces a lot more of this. That is going to be the new way to actually fight inflation.
Well, we're talking to real estate investors. We're talking about real estate brokers. We're talking to, if you're a mortgage broker, if you're a coach, mentor, any type of service-oriented business. We're talking about making this event. It'll be completely life-changing event. Yeah. I mean, having you is just a huge treat to be able to do that.
So the real estate agent, they need this story. See, what they do is they get hung up on the comp down the road. They're like, oh, you're 200 grand higher. They need to get into this story about, hey, what are you going to do with your money right now?
Sounds good.
Sitting in the bank at 0.0012%. You're losing money at the bank. You're complaining about the wrong thing. So the real estate agent needs these skills to be able to make sense of the future of real estate in Canada.
Oh, and it could be an accountant who wants to scale his business 10x, right? I mean, they should be there. They should be there. Any type of real estate.
Well, if you're an accountant, a plumber, a contractor, like if you're a plumber and you got a bunch of real estate people in a room, like it seems to make sense that you want to be in a room with real estate people that have a bunch of plumbing.
And accounting too. If you're an accountant,
if you're an accountant,
wouldn't you want me to be, coming to you and saying, helping with
would you invest $15,000 to pick up a couple of clients. I would go just for the networking.
Well, it's the most important part of being at a live event.
Make sure I got a Cuban cigar there, though, okay? All right? Okay, my friend, I can't wait to be there.
Thank you very much.
You guys grab your seat. I can't wait to meet
Thank
you, all
you
right?
very
Okay?
much. Awesome. Thank you, Angelo.
Okay, the Greeks, the Italians, and the Indians are all going to be in one place.